On Monday afternoon, the Carolina Panthers acquired former number 3 overall pick Sam Darnold from the New York Jets. It took a 6th-round pick this year along with a 2nd and a 4th next year to do so, but the Panthers were a team that was seeking quarterback help. There are plenty of opinions on Sam Darnold that range from he's trash to he was in a terrible situation, let's see how he plays elsewhere. I do believe that in the right situation, Darnold can at least be an average quarterback in the NFL, and while Carolina's not the dream scenario for a quarterback like San Francisco or the Los Angeles Rams, they still have a pretty decent situation going for them. Carolina's coming off back-to-back 5-11 seasons, but they do have enough offensive weapons at their disposal to sustain good quarterback play. They rolled with Cam Newton in 2019, but it was another injury-riddled season for him that resulted in Kyle Allen and even Will Grier getting some starts in 2019, and in 2020 they signed Teddy Bridgewater to a $63 million contract after some success with his showcase games for the Saints. The fit made sense considering Joe Brady, the new OC for the Panthers, once worked with New Orleans as an offensive assistant under Sean Payton in 2017, so with Bridgewater having familiarity with a similar scheme, it seemed like a good fit, and it's not like Teddy Bridgewater had a bad year in 2020. But as Panthers GM Scott Fitterer said after the trade, I think in this offense he can take the next step. When you trade for Sam Darnold, you're not paying him for past production because nobody would want that, but from some people's perspective, Sam Darnold is a pretty talented quarterback. Darnold had some decent stretches over his first 2 years, but the wheels completely fell off in year 3 for him. But we have to look at the situation he was in. As a rookie in 2018, Darnold started off the year with mixed results, but once he came back from a foot sprain that kept him out for 3 weeks, he looked like a different quarterback. In December of 2018, his rookie season, Darnold had a tremendous 6 touchdowns to 1 interception, a 99.1 quarterback rating, a 64% completion percentage, and 7.4 yards per attempt. He looked like he was turning a corner late in his rookie season, but then came another coaching overhaul. He had Todd Bowles as a head coach and Jeremy Bates as his offensive play caller. Bates didn't really get great reviews from Jets players on his way out, but Darnold would have had to learn a new system entering year 2, and that's where Adam Gase came in. Sam Darnold had a very weird start to 2019 as he missed 3 games with mono, but from week 8 on, he actually finished the year very strong again. His final 8 games of 2019, he had a 94.5 quarterback rating, a 13-4 touchdown to interception ratio, a 61.8 completion percentage, and once again 7.4 yards per attempt. Now, if you double that and he did it over a full 16 games, that's 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions and over 4,000 passing yards. So while Darnold has never fully put it together over a full season for 2 years, he had shown stretches of 4 really good games and even 8 really good games in a row. So entering year 3 in 2020, there was plenty of optimism that Darnold could maybe have a breakout year that Jets fans had been waiting for. But as we know, the Jets were horrendous in 2020, starting off 0-13, and Darnold himself missed 4 games with an AC joint injury in his shoulder. The Jets' offensive line was not good at all, and coming off a 7-9 season, we saw the incompetence of Adam Gase come to life as he was a dead man walking for majority of the 2020 season. And it's not like Adam Gase had held back a talented quarterback before in his career. When Gase coached Ryan Tannehill in Miami, he was a league average quarterback at best. Then when Ryan Tannehill left Adam Gase in 2019, he played nearly like a top 5 quarterback the past 2 years, which is probably not a coincidence. And I'm not saying that Darnold will turn into a top 5 quarterback in the league because he's away from Adam Gase, but it will almost certainly make him better. When you look at Darnold's supporting cast over the years, it wasn't good to put it kindly. Here were his top 3 receivers based on receiving yards in each season. In 2018, it was Robbie Anderson, Chris Herndon, and Quincy Enunwa. In 2019, it was Jamison Crowder, Robbie Anderson, and Le'Veon Bell. And then in 2020, it was Jamison Crowder, Brashad Perriman, and Braxton Berrios. So when you look at that list, you see no wide receiver 1 in sight, there's no good tight end, and the one constant on that list was Robbie Anderson, who was let go by the Jets before 2020. Ironically, Anderson and Darnold now reunite in Carolina, but the point is that the Jets did Darnold no favors. He always had a bottom 5 offensive line and the league's worst coach as well. Here's how Pro Football Focus ranked the Jets' offensive lines by year since Darnold was there. In 2018, they were 25th in the league, in 2019, they were 28th in the league, and in 2020, they were 29th in the league. I'm not saying that there's no quarterback that could have done well in this environment, but I'm confident saying that most quarterbacks probably would not have success for the Jets the past 3 years. Another stat that favors Darnold is that the Jets were 0-10 in games where he was inactive as compared to 13-25 when he was active. It's not like 13-25 some type of big accomplishment, but the Jets were clearly better when he was out there as compared to guys like Joe Flacco, Luke Falk, and Josh McCown. And while Darnold has made some very bad decisions at times, probably because there was no offensive structure structure and he was trying to do too much, he does have some very impressive highlights throughout his career. There are plays on tape where Darnold makes you realize he's not some talentless quarterback, but the guy just needs to put it together consistently. But in Carolina, under new head coach Matt Rule and offensive coordinator Joe Brady, I think there's reason to believe that Darnold might have a good year. I'm not expecting an MVP season, but modest expectations seem fair to me. Something around 4,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 to 12 interceptions, and a completion percentage between 62 and 64%. I think it's possible. There's a reason this guy was once thought to go number 1 overall in his draft class. He's got the talent. And while it feels like he's been around forever, he's still just 23 years old currently. He'll be 24 by the time the 2021 season starts. When you give Darnold an offensive line that includes Matt Paradis, Taylor Moton, and John Miller, and possibly another draft pick at number 8 overall, it's a better offensive line than anyone the Jets have given him over 3 years. And when you give him weapons like Robbie Anderson, once again, DJ Moore, who has a ton of talent, Christian McCaffrey, one of the most dynamic running backs in the league, and even David Moore, who's a good red zone option coming from Seattle, it's better than any group of weapons the Jets have given him as well. I do think 2021 is pretty much a make or break year for Darnold. They did pick up his 5th-year option, but there are reasons to believe that this could work out. If it doesn't work out, then oh well. I still think it was worth a shot for Carolina. They couldn't really trade up either. Once the 49ers traded up to number 3 overall, they were not going to trade with their division rival Falcons to get to number 4, and it's not like there's anybody on the free agent market that was a better option, so trading for Darnold might have been their best option. I do think that for the Jets, they got a pretty good return, and GM Joe Douglas continues to stockpile all the draft picks he can handle. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Zach Wilson will be a Jet, which I do think is the right move, but we do know for sure that Sam Darnold is going to be a Carolina Panther. Let me know in the comments, how do you think Sam Darnold will perform for Carolina? Will he end up being a franchise quarterback or a one-and-done type situation? I personally believe Darnold will play like a pretty average quarterback. I don't expect any greatness, but I don't expect him to be nearly as bad as he was for the Jets in recent years. So I am pretty excited for his future in Carolina. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe for more NFL content, and I'll talk to you guys next time.